All right, I think we can go ahead and get started. Once again, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the U.S. Department of Energy Solar District Cup Collegiate Design Competition Class of 2022 to 2023 informational webinar. My name is Jackie Petrie from the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, and I'm going to be the webinar technical host today. So before we get started, I wanted to just quickly go over a few quick housekeeping items. Obviously, we are using Zoom today. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with Zoom at this point, but if you're not, you have a couple options for listening to today's presentation with your audio. If you are experiencing any issues with your audio, you can change your settings by navigating to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, finding that mute or unmute button and clicking the little up arrow next to it. That should allow you to change your audio preferences. Of course, you can always send me a message in the chat if you are having other issues, and I'll try to help you navigate those. This is a reminder to all of our panelists to please mute your audio when you're not presenting so we don't get any background noises. And we will have a Q&A session at the end of today's presentation. If you have any questions that come up throughout the presentation, please send those using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. We'll monitor the chat, but sometimes questions get lost in the chat. So if you could try to use that Q&A button to submit your questions, we'll get to those at the end of the presentation. Lastly, if you're having any major technical difficulties, the Zoom support number is on the screen, but also we are recording our presentation. We'll make a copy of the recording and the slides available most likely tomorrow, and those will be posted on our Solar District Cup HeroX channel. So stay tuned for those. With that, I would like to hand things over to my colleague, Sarah Farrar at the National Renewable Energy Lab. Sarah is one of our competition organizers. So Sarah, over to you.
Jackie, thank you so much, and welcome to all of our attendees in this Zoom webinar to provide you hopefully some exciting and motivating information about the U.S. Department of Energy Solar District Cup Collegiate Design Competition and what we have planned for the class of 2022 to 2023. I think we have a mix today of participants who are perhaps already familiar and returning to the competition, some of our previous faculty advisors, maybe even returning students. We have, I think, mostly folks who are new. So thank you for registering for the webinar, and we will focus the content today for those of you who are new to the Solar District Cup. So this is a multidisciplinary competition that challenges student teams to design and model solar plus battery energy storage systems for multiple buildings on a local electrical distribution network. So this is at a campus, a development, or a district scale. We are seeking to cultivate students with cross-cutting skills to prepare them as our upcoming generation in the distributed energy workforce and for our country's clean energy transition. We structure the competition around multiple divisions. Each division has a partner district use case of existing building energy data. The competition is now organized as either a 1 or 2 semester, that might be 2 or 3 academic quarters, effort for the student timeline. And the challenge is approximately aimed at an upper level undergraduate a level of difficulty, with projects starting as soon as the fall of 2022 and culminating in a spring 2023 event. For those of you who are familiar with the competition, we do have some exciting changes that we're making to the timeline this year for increasing the flexibility of student, team, and faculty advisor participation. If you get nothing else out of this presentation today, we would love for you to stay in the know about our new Solar District Cup class. You can go to our competition platform. This is on herox.com/solardistrictcup. Simply click that follow button and you will continue to receive announcements and updates. Perhaps you're peripherally interested in how this competition progresses, but particularly for those of you who may be interested in participating as a competing team or a faculty advisor or otherwise a partner of the Solar District Cup, we encourage you to follow the competition through the HeroX competition platform. This is not any kind of commitment to participate, simply to receive our updates, announcements, and in a few cases, even helpful reminders. To welcome all of you to this year's class of the Solar District Cup, I would like to invite Dr. Robert Megley, who is our project manager from the U.S. Department of Energy, Solar Energy Technologies Office. Robert?
Thank you, Sarah. It's really a pleasure to do this one more time. I came to the Solar District Cup, I guess, in October of 2020, shortly after I joined with the Department of Energy. And I have found this to be truly an amazing and rewarding project, a program, and a class. I think this particular class is going to find it very exciting. There are kind of, as usual, some new features, some features that we introduced in previous classes, and overall, this integrated learning environment provides a truly unique opportunity to learn how to design, engineer, and work as a team to create a solar project, even through to the point of pitching. You might even consider your team as being entrepreneurial in the sense that this is exactly what would happen in the real world, so to speak, were you to be in a company developing a proposal for a solar development project. So I'm sure you, since you've registered, have seen what's happened recently with regard to renewable energy and solar in particular. I think there could not be a better time to become involved. And I got to tell you, I'm super excited by this class, by you, and I look forward to your efforts individually and collectively. And I can't think of a better group of people to be engaged in this, or a better time to be engaged in this. So I really hope you share my excitement with this program, with this coursework, and with these people that you'll be working with over the school year, because there is just no time like the present. So have at it, enjoy, ask questions, and be optimistic, because like I say, the iron is hot and the time to strike is now. Thank you very much, Sarah. I really appreciate the opportunity to share my excitement.
Thank you, Dr. Megley. It's great that you could join us today. And for those of you that continue as participating teams, you'll hear more from Dr. Megley throughout the competition activities. So our agenda for today's informational webinar is to give you a summary on the who, what, why, and how of the competition, to give you some additional details about eligibility, the competition rules, the division and district use cases, the training we provide, the timeline of the competition activities, some guidance for how to register a team, some tips and pointers for what would come next, and then allowing time for questions at the end. We hope that the content we have in this informational webinar answers the questions that you may have submitted in the registration for this Zoom webinar. If not, please do type that question into the chat, and we will try to make best use of time today to get to everyone's questions. So for a summary of who is involved, what you'll do, why this competition, how and what you may win. To just give you a little bit of a snapshot of last year, the class of 2021 to 2022, we had 65 registered participating teams from 64 schools across the United States. So these are US-based collegiate institutions. Roughly half of the schools that fielded teams last year were returning from a previous year participation, and roughly the other half of the schools in last year's competition were new that particular class. 4 of the universities had multiple teams, and 3 of those teams were made up of students from multiple schools or collegiate institutions. We have many multidisciplinary teams, so students pursuing degree programs across multiple disciplines, which is not required, but we highly encourage. There are many types of college students who participated at the community college, technical college, 4-year undergraduate degree universities, and graduate level collegiate programs, along with many faculty advisors and industry mentors. Just to feature and brag a little bit about last year's winners from the class of 2021 to 2022, a nice diversity of teams that you can see featured here on the slide. So 9 winning teams, 3 from each of our 3 divisions, including honorable mentions identified by our industry judges as having a particularly outstanding effort alongside those teams from the universities that are listed here as our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place winners. One of the opportunities that we provide through the competition is to interact with industry. And one of the methods that we do for that is inviting judges from across various aspects of industry to evaluate your entries into the competition. So we have a mix of folks from electric utilities, from solar developers, from the district use cases that were represented in last year's class. We would like for you to know that some of these judges may be returning, and we will also invite new judges, new to the class of 2022 to 2023, to be part of the competition and to extend these connections that you can make into industry. We also have a nice bench of competition organizer staff. So I am joined today by Joe Simon, Travis Louder, Jackie Petrie, and Robin Tuttle in addressing you in this informational webinar. We're also pleased to have with us Dr. Otto Latif, Eric Ness, Patrick Gibbs, Cameron Weiner, and Hannah Pauling, who also support the competition staff in a variety of roles to help each of your collegiate teams be successful. So just in summary, what you will do for this competition is to submit what we call deliverable packages. So these are written documents that demonstrate your design and analysis efforts. So in this way, it is a paper competition. There is nothing to build in the competition, but there is an extensive set of modeling and analysis work that you would do to be successful in the competition. So in summary, as Robert mentioned, you will assume the role of a solar plus storage developer. So it's as if you are a solar developer responding to a request for proposals or an RFP from a client, or in this case, a district or a campus use case. You will produce a project proposal, including your pitch presentation. You will produce a conceptual system design of both solar and battery energy storage systems that show the system layout and specifications, that show the hourly energy production of your proposed energy systems, and also include a summary of the potential distribution system impacts. You will do a financial analysis. This will include the financing model of your proposed project and also demonstrating the analysis of the customer savings of your proposed project. Your deliverable package will also include a development plan. So this is addressing any zoning and permitting considerations that your proposed designs would have to address or be in compliance with. You'll think about the applicable construction codes and schedule for your proposed project, as well as address distributional energy equity. So why are we conducting this competition? We want to help the Department of Energy and our industry partners address the workforce gaps for professionals in the clean energy transition and across the industry. We want to showcase your creative student solutions for increased adoption of distributed solar energy generation at this campus or district scale. And we want to inspire our industry partners to think strategically about these district energy systems. How and what you'll win. This is the exciting part. So you'll win by designing a solar plus storage system for a campus or district that maximizes the energy offset as well as the customer financial savings. These are challenging district use cases. They often have relatively low energy rates. So it is an opportunity for you as a student team to show your creativity and innovation, how these clean energy distributed systems can provide that maximum energy offset and customer financial savings in a competitive grid electric utility market. As students, you'll gain valuable experience with real-life examples of renewable energy design alongside engagement with our industry partners. And you win a trophy with national recognition. So that means bragging rights for you. So in our agenda, we would like to move into providing you some additional details, which will hopefully address most of the questions we saw that you provided when you registered for this informational webinar. In particular, eligibility. So in order to compete in the Solar District Cup, you must have a team. A team is composed of at least 3 students. There is no maximum number of students for a team. We have heard from past participants that they may pursue the competition as a whole class, divided into teams within the class, and then they have a mini competition just within their class, and self-select their favorite team to then proceed in the competition, perhaps as the whole class with that one team's design, or just that one team continuing in the competition space. So that's just an example of the variability that you may have with the size and the approach of your team structure, but you must have a minimum of at least 3 students to be considered an eligible team. All students must be enrolled in accredited US-based collegiate institutions. All students must be pursuing at least one class towards a degree. A common question we have is for students who graduate in the middle of the competition timeline, so perhaps at the conclusion of the fall semester or fall quarter. Those students may absolutely continue on the team, but they would be in a contributor or mentor role. They may contribute to the designs and to the final deliverable packages, but they would not be allowed to present to judges in the final competition event. So once we get to that final competition event stage, all students who are participating live and presenting to judges must be enrolled in at least one class towards pursuing a degree. Any level of college student is eligible. So as I mentioned earlier, the sort of level of difficulty of the challenge is aimed at what we would consider upper level undergraduate students, but community college, technical college, 4-year university degree students and graduate level students are all eligible to participate. Also, as I mentioned before, multidisciplinary teams are highly encouraged, although not required. The disciplines of student degree programs that you might be considering for your team would be engineering, urban planning, business or finance, construction management, sustainability or environmental policy specialties, marketing, and architecture. This is, again, a suggested or encouraged list. All collegiate level students that meet these eligibility requirements would certainly be welcome to contribute to a multidisciplinary team consistent with their interests in the scope of the competition. We do recommend each team has a faculty advisor and or one or more mentors. Again, this is strongly encouraged, but not required. Why you might want to participate, what would be the benefits or the impacts for you? You'll have the opportunity to build experience with renewable energy design and analysis, develop real-world solutions that shape the future of solar energy in our clean energy transition, network with industry for career connections, and enhance your education and build your resume with this competition experiential learning opportunity. You might be, as a student, participating to earn course credit as part of a senior design or capstone project requirement. You might be earning elective or independent study course credit by demonstrating your education or things that you've learned alongside the competition deliverables that you've produced. This might be part of a class curriculum or maybe even a thesis project. This competition might serve as a seminar topic. It might serve as a kind of coalescing, engaging activity for a student interest club, or just simply be an extracurricular activity alongside your educational pursuits. And to our faculty advisor audience, why might you be advising a team? We as the organizers provide real data and the use case for the students to pursue with their modeling and analysis. We provide for you curriculum support with training webinars and modeling tools, as well as training materials to use those modeling tools. The teams are encouraged to do this team-based design effort as their project, and we help facilitate connections to industry and ideally help launch careers. So sort of transitioning into a little bit more of the details of the competition, how do you compete? You compete by following the rules. We expect for the Solar District Cup class of 2022 to 2023 rules document to be published tomorrow. That link will be available to you publicly on the herox.com/Solar District Cup website. If you're curious in the meantime, you can see the reference to last year's rules for the class of 2021 to 2022. While I would say maybe 3/4 of the rules are essentially the same, there are some revisions, updates, and kind of evolutions we have in the rules. So be sure to get the update as it is available starting tomorrow. As I mentioned earlier, the structure of the competition is around divisions and district use cases. So these district use cases is the package of data, master plans, and partners who are interested in the solutions produced by the student teams. This graphic is to just try to give you a sense visually of this competition structure. So new this year in the class of 22 to 2023, we are anticipating 5 divisions. In previous years, we've had 3 divisions. We're now growing, anticipating 5 divisions. Teams are assigned into each of these divisions by us, the competition organizers. The winners of each division are selected by the industry judges, and the first place team of each division, as selected by those industry judges, is invited to further compete in a second round of the proposal pitch championship. And the ultimate pitch winner is determined during that final competition event. If you look at the graphic, you'll see the divisions are numbered. So divisions 1, 2, and 3 are identical to those of you who may be returning to the previous years of the Solar District Cup competition. Divisions 4 and 5 are new. So this is an area of growth for the Solar District Cup this year. We have a new division we are calling Bring Your Own District Use Case, or BYOD, Bring Your Own District Use Case. We have often had interest by student teams in the past that they wanted to apply the competition rules and structure to their own home campus as a district use case, or to a community partner that was affiliated with their university. We did not provide the structure or flexibility for that in the past. We are doing that newly this year. So if you are already working with as a student, if you're already working with a faculty advisor or a partner within your own collegiate campus, at a US-based collegiate institution, and you would like to compete with your own district of your own campus, you can do that this year. A second new division is division number 5, which will be participation for those students who would like their efforts structured for the winter-spring semester or winter-spring academic quarters. So that would be only in 2023. And those teams would be competing with each other on an assigned district use case. So we have flexibility for the timing with which you register and commit to compete as a team, as well as the opportunity to identify and bring your own district use case. So just to give you a little bit of a preview of these district use cases that we are anticipating for this year's class of 2022 to 2023 across these 5 divisions. We are anticipating working with a private developer. This will be an urban development building out distributed energy infrastructure and slashing their carbon footprint. A second organizer assigned district use case is a university campus who is growing their electric vehicle or EV charging loads, as well as resilience for critical loads operating on their campus. A third assigned district use case would be another university campus who is looking to exceed their clean energy and campus operation goals alongside electrification. A fourth district use case we're excited to partner with is a tribal nation in the US geography who is building out distributed energy infrastructure, including providing community solar structured project. And as I briefly mentioned, our last and newest division is this bring your own district, where you as a team would be identifying the partner, collecting the data, and writing your own use case profile. I would now like to introduce Travis Louder to speak a little bit more to the highlights of our anticipated district use case partners and describe to you what is contained in the district use case profiles. Travis?
Sorry, double muted. If we could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. So for returning students, you will be familiar with this document. For those that are joining us for the first time, I'll go through some details on how the challenge is set up and the sort of the source of the competition. This use case profile is a document that we'll be sending out once you register as a team and we open the competition. So essentially, the first teams to register, you'll be getting one of these tomorrow. It'll be available. You can see in this document there near the top, there is a website with a username and a password that will allow you access to the data room. So this document is itself the challenge document. It lays out the description of the district. It gives you the boundaries. It gives you all the information you'll need to complete the challenge, and then all the data you will need to complete the challenge, supplemental to this particular document, will be available in a secure data room where you can download those files and use those for your designs and your modeling. So some of the data that will be available in the data room includes things like interval data. It's the usage of the buildings within the district, or a selection of the buildings within a district, master plans, any sort of roof drawings you might need, architectural drawings, etc. So this use case profile is a PDF document. It's the challenge document, as I said, and it is going to be sort of your one-stop shop, or most stop shop with the data room, so that you are able to basically perform the challenge, and it gives you all the guidance you need, and then the rules document will supplement that. So next slide, please. So as Sarah mentioned, we're changing things up this year. We've got a bring your own district division. There are a number of things that will be required for those students that will be competing in this division. This is really just to sort of equalize the competition, make sure that all the students are fairly competing against one another, and that the judges have sort of an apples to apples comparison, that students don't find themselves sort of disadvantaged because they didn't have a data set they didn't bring, or they structured their challenge a little differently. So the use case profile, and those will be available, we'll make those available to the students competing in this Bring Your Own District division as an example. And we're going to ask that the students sort of follow those as closely as possible. And what that means really is that they're going to have to sort of select the boundaries within their district, right? So they'll go into Google Earth and draw a boundary around the district. If it's a college campus, say, you drop that polygon somewhere within the college campus. We ask that you draw these boundaries so that you don't leave yourself, if you're working with a large footprint of a district, that you're not sort of overwhelming yourself with the possibilities for design. You want to keep that challenge bounded enough, but anywhere from, I'd say 10 to 15 buildings, you're kind of in the sweet spot for what constitutes a district that we've used in the past here in this competition. The use case parameters, again, we're going to ask you to sort of comb through the rules and the use case profile examples so that you're familiar with those things. You want to be sure that your district sort of conforms, right? That ideally it would be a single owner entity. You're not working with too many owners within the district, which could make contracting very difficult if you were to do this in the real world. You want to make sure that there's enough roof space, enough ground space, enough parking space available for you to design a system. And then ideally, you want to make sure that your district has some goals that you can be meeting with the installation of solar and storage systems on campus, particularly when we get to the storage part of the competition, which is in the final deliverable phase of the competition, right? So next semester, I guess you could say, or the spring competition timeframe, winter, spring. You want to make sure that your district has some sort of goals around storage, whether it be resilience, or they're trying to peak shave or load shift, or have an economic dispatch strategy for their battery. Those are important things because when you're designing a solar and storage system, oftentimes you want to make sure that that's tailored to the needs of the district and they've got some familiarity with what they're getting in terms of value from that system. And then for these districts, we're also going to ask the students bring the data to this competition. Now, we do have the ability to synthesize the interval data, and we'll have more information on that soon. So if you can't get the interval data for every building you're working with, there can be a workaround solution there. But things like the master plan and other data needs, and again, these will be provided in the use case profile documents. You'll see what sort of data we've been grabbing from districts in the past and providing to students. You want to make sure that you have a full data set that you can work with. And oftentimes this is going to necessitate a contact with your operations and maintenance staff on campus, or the operations and maintenance staff of the district, or the sustainability coordinator, or a professor that has access to these things, if you're working with the campus. So it's going to mean that you have some sort of touch point with the operating entity for the district, which is an important connection you'll have to make. And if you haven't made that yet, bringing your own district can be tough if you don't have access to that team. So that's just a recommendation for you all exploring this option. Next slide, please. I think that covers the bring your own district data needs. And I think at this point, Sarah, I'm passing it back to you.
Gareth, thank you so much. We're going to continue to introduce our Solar District Cup organizer staff. So next, I'd like to invite our colleague Robin Tuttle to summarize the training that we provide as a supplement to the student team participation.
Thanks, Sarah. Next slide. So we offer customized training via the HeroX platform for the Solar District Cup. On there, you'll see some specific training webinars, such as this bulleted list here, including the introduction to conceptual system design, distribution system impact analysis, how to create a financial model, development planning tips and tricks, pre and post knowledge checks that help tell us if these trainings are really moving the needle on your knowledge base and more. So these trainings are meant to directly help prepare you for these deliverable packages. There's free access to this training content for registered teams. So if you'd like to access this, make sure to register a team. We'll also be offering live office hours with industry experts. So we're trying to just provide you with plenty of support to get a great deliverable package. And last, we'll offer class of 2021-2022 competition team presentations and winning teams' final deliverable packages. So you can see examples of these winning packages. Next slide, please. All right, with that, we'd like to do a quick poll question. So you should be able to see it come up on your screen shortly here. Yep, there it is. So the question is, for the live and recorded competition webinar series, what is your preferred day and time for weekly hour-long training webinars? We know class schedules vary, so this could help inform our schedule for these training webinars. I'll give you a minute to answer that. Okay, maybe another 20 seconds or so. Okay, and I don't think we need to share these poll results necessarily, but know that we'll look at these results and that will help us plan these weekly training webinars. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. All right, in addition to those training webinars, we have additional resources and tools offered to registered teams. So one of the coolest parts about this challenge is these free access to industry leading tools that are used by real industry experts. So Aurora Solar is a competition sponsor, and you can use their tool for conceptual solar system design. There's the Solar Executive MBA spreadsheet financial model that you'll have access to. Energy Toolbase is another sponsor with modeling solar and storage customer savings analysis. And then there's NREL System Advisor Model, or SAM, and Renewable Energy Integration and Optimization, REOPT, web tools that you'll have access to. So real developers use these tools, and it'll be a great opportunity for you. Last, as a registered team, you could gain free access to the RE Plus conference and regional events. And our sponsor, Amy Gable, is going to speak more to that. Next slide, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Gable. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at RE Plus Events. And as a founding partner and sponsor of the District Challenge, we're so excited to be with you. You are about to go on a year-long journey of an amazing learning adventure, and I'm excited to be along with you. Many of the past participants have found success attending our event. I represent the largest energy trade show in North America. We have over 800 different companies doing all of the things that you just heard about: microgrids, smart energy, electric vehicles, even hydrogen energy, along with energy storage, solar, and wind. And 20,000 people come to our trade show annually. This year's event is in September, in just a few weeks, in Anaheim, California. At that event in the past, students just like you have made career connections, have made networking connections, made lifelong friends. A number of people have come away with new ideas and new concepts to implement in their package, their program. They have found internships, and they quite frankly have a deeper understanding of the renewable energy, the technologies that are available, and how they integrate with each other by talking to the companies who are producing these products, who are integrating them, talking to developers and financiers and the entire ecosystem comes to this trade show. I know it's in just a few weeks. If you have a chance, we would love for you to join us. The way to do that is to reach out to this team, and they will provide you with a complimentary or a code for a complimentary conference pass. The travel expenses are still on you and your team. Let's see, I have a couple of things to tell you, which is last year's winners are presenting their research at our event in a poster presentation. In addition, there are 300 other opportunities for education that your complimentary pass would give you access to, and over 24 hours of networking. So this is really a chance at the beginning of your process to see the entire ecosystem of renewable energy come together, make career connections and lifelong friendships and opportunities. If you can't join us because 3 weeks is way too quick, we also have 10 other regional events throughout this fall in Florida and next year throughout the US. And your complimentary pass for the program includes any one of those shows too. So this team will follow up and send you information where I hope to see you in Anaheim, and if not, throughout the next year. Good luck with your learning adventure.
Amy, thank you so much. We're delighted to continue the partnership with RE Plus and excited to offer this opportunity to our participating students and faculty advisors. Okay, next I'd like to review a summary of the timeline of when to be engaging in the competition. We have designed these activities to fit within a roughly 1 semester or 2 semester, that might be 2 or 3 academic quarters or academic year. Again, you can participate as part of a course, as part of a design or capstone project, or as an extracurricular activity. And we've had successful winning Solar District Cup collegiate teams in the past in all these forms of participation. So when to engage. This is an excerpt of dates from the rules. So we expect by tomorrow for the rules to be published. Also, as teams register, to be providing you with your assigned district use case data, or to be supporting you if you are opting to be a bring your own district team. If you would like to take us up on the offer to attend the RE Plus conference coming up next month, please register your team by September 8th to receive that code for the complimentary conference attendance. Note in particular, October 6th is a deadline for teams to register for those teams in the competition who are planning a full academic year. So that is starting in the fall semester or fall quarter. So if you're starting with your team's effort in the fall semester or fall quarter, please register your team by October 6th. We have a new concept this year we are casually calling rolling registration. So previously, there was a fixed deadline for all teams who wanted to participate to register. If you register a team starting next week, we will get you started with your district use case assignment or supporting you to bring your own district. And that registration is rolling through to October 6th. Further, if you prefer to participate as a 1 semester only or 2 academic quarter team starting in January, there is a second deadline for the 1 semester teams to register by January 26th. So we hope this rolling registration concept is accommodating both in the spread of start times of semester and quarter calendars, as well as for those who may be earning course credit or supplementing with an extracurricular activity, either for the full academic year or for approximately half of it. So October 6th to register a team for a starting fall semester participation. If you register by October 6th and submit a progress deliverable package in November, then we as the organizers will provide you feedback. So feedback on rules compliance and on your progress and opportunities for improvement as you progress into the final deliverable phase. Ultimately, those teams who are competing will submit a final deliverable package by April 20th. We want to make sure we also have your presentation files and then proceed into the competition event on Sunday, April 30th and Monday, May 1st of 2023. We will have, again, a online or virtual competition event. So we really look forward to having a full engagement by all of our interested and participating teams through to that virtual online competition event. So if you're intrigued, as I mentioned at the beginning of this informational webinar, please click that follow button on our competition platform, herox.com/solardistrictcup. We will keep you up to date on the details of this competition participation timeline. We have many both live and recorded webinar training content to provide to you, and the details of that content and that schedule will be provided through contacting you as you follow the competition and register a team on HeroX. So here to tell you more about how to register a team, I would like to introduce my colleague, Joe Simon.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today or for watching this recording. We would really like to see you as a participant and love using the HeroX platform to have a streamlined source of information, of resources, and for submissions. This also provides an opportunity for judges to see your activities and provide feedback. So if you want to participate and join the nearly 2,000 people that have followed the challenge in the past, you're going to go to herox.com/solardistrictcup, click solve this challenge, and then begin that process. Clicking solve this challenge will show us in our tracking that you're interested, but is not yet a full registration. So once you click solve this challenge, you may have to agree to the HeroX terms of use in the challenge specific agreement, and you are able to indicate if you want to indicate your team right then and there, where you can add their email addresses or their names, or you can come back and do that later. No issue either way. And so when you do that, you'll get to the next option where you're able to create a register entry. Next slide. And so basically by these registration deadlines, you have to click this button that says begin entry, and that will ask some questions about your expected team makeup, the name of your school, and information about how you best want to be contacted for the duration of the competition. Note that we just want one person per team to submit a registration entry, and you can only have one registration entry per person. So if you are a faculty advisor that might have a class of 20 people that is forming 4 different teams, you would want to ask your team captains from that class to individually submit an entry. You as a faculty advisor would not be able to submit 4 different entries. So something just to keep in mind there, that each school could have up to 5 teams, as we have 5 different divisions expected. So think about if you have a class that you could have more than one team competing successfully and working on different challenges, learning from each other. So note that you'll click this begin entry button, and then you'll be able to answer some of those brief questions. It should take less than 5 minutes in total. Click submit, and at that point, we'll review your entry and then give you access to your use case, give you access to those learning resources. And that's a benefit you get from our rolling registration that's new this year, so that you can actually join that competition whenever it makes the most sense for your academic calendar. Next slide. So this is what it looks like. And this is the view for a mobile device, but you can also do it on your computer, but you'll give your team or your project a title. It doesn't super matter. It can change over time. And then you can indicate the name of your collegiate institution and your individual team. The most critical piece here is telling us which school or schools you are with, and recognizing that if you're going to have multiple teams from your school, which sometimes you may not know about other teams because it may be electrical engineering students submit one team and then a solar club submits a different team. So do think about what your team name would be, answer some of these different questions about the expected team makeup, and then press submit. So pretty straightforward, pretty quick. And once we receive that information, we'll give you access to some of the resources in the competition and you can begin work. We're really excited to see. We know several teams have already registered and we'll be releasing more information as we come. So there is benefit to registering early this year. In previous years, you may have waited right up until the deadline, but this year, as soon as you register, you will get access to that district use case, you will get access to the learning resources, we'll begin the process of getting you access to some of the free tools, and so you will have benefit from registering early rather than waiting until the various deadlines. So please do consider doing so. Next slide. I think with that, I turn it back to Sarah for what's next.
So thank you very much. So these are just now to recap some of the details provided in this informational webinar. We look forward to having the rules published on the HeroX Solar District Cup competition platform tomorrow. Next step for each of you would be to follow the competition and hopefully register a team, particularly for those teams starting in the fall semester or quarter. That can happen now through October 6th. We've had several teams who have already registered, so we're excited to reach out to them with our district use case assignments for their efforts to become underway. After registration, please do read the rules. It's a 17-page document plus some guidelines in the appendices. Hopefully all of your questions will be answered in the rules. If not, we encourage you to contact us at solardistrictcup@nrel.gov. We encourage you to watch the 15-minute project presentations of last year's competing teams. Those are available via a link on the HeroX platform to NREL's learning channel on YouTube. So those are ways to begin learning about the competition, is to see last year's team's project pitch presentations, as well as reading the rules. We encourage you to build a team. So be recruiting multidisciplinary team members or additional students from your class or from your club or from your degree program. Be identifying a faculty advisor or other mentoring resources. What you'll submit if you are a full academic year team beginning in the fall is a progress deliverable package of your solar system designs. So this includes the executive project summary, the conceptual system design, the financial analysis, and the development plan. If you are competing in the Bring Your Own District division, you will also submit a description in the form of a district use case profile of the designs that to go along with the designs that you've submitted. That's due by 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, November 17th. Then in April, there are more details available in the rules of what you'll submit as your final deliverable package, as the submittals for which you will be evaluated by judges and also be presenting in a live presentation to your division judges. The final competition event will be Sunday, April 30th through May 1st. This will be a virtual or online event. The 5 divisions will present in parallel to the judges leading up to the Project Pitch Championship. So why should you compete? No risk, high reward, no cost to enter. Travel is not required for the central competition activities. We provide supplementary training and an entree with connections to industry, perhaps to launch a career. So we encourage you to consider these next steps of recruiting, registering, reading the rules, learning from our training materials, and getting started to design your solutions. We thank the invaluable contributions from our continuing competition partners, Aurora, Energy Toolbase, and RE+. With that, I hope we addressed most of your questions in the content of this informational webinar. Those questions that we saw submitted in the webinar registration that we were not able to address in our formal presentation today, we will follow up using the email addresses that you provided. So thank you so much for your time and attention today, whether by the live presentation or by the recording, and we look forward to seeing your entry in the Solar District Cup class of 2022 to 2023. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.